Okay, Hare Krishna. We'll continue our discussion on Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, Dhyana Yoga, shloka number 5. Today's topic will be mind control, art of mind control, which is one of the high demand topics. One of the high demand topics. Art of mind control, art of parenting, art of tolerance. These are the high demand topics. उद्धरेदात्मनात्मानं नात्मानं अवसादयेत् आत्मैव ह्यात्मनो बन्धुरात्मैव रिपुरात्मनः Uddaret, one must deliver Atmana by the mind, Atmana, the conditioned soul. Na, never, Atmanam, the conditioned soul, Avasadayet, put into degradation, Atma, mind, Eva, certainly, he, indeed, Atmanaha, of the conditioned soul, Bandhu, friend, Atma, mind, Eva, certainly, Ripu, enemy, Atmanaha, of the conditioned soul. Okay. Abhishek.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. One must deliver himself with the help of his mind and not degrade himself. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. Purport. The word Atma denotes body, mind and soul depending upon different circumstances. In the yoga system, the mind and the conditioned soul are especially important. Since the mind is the central point of yoga practice, Atma refers here to the mind. The purpose of yoga system is to control the mind and to draw it away from attachment to sense objects. It is stressed herein that the mind must be so trained that it can deliver the conditioned soul from the mire of nescience. In material existence, one is subjected to the influence of the mind and the senses. In fact, the pure soul is entangled in the material world because the mind is involved with the false ego, which desires to lord it over material nature. Therefore, the mind should be trained so that it will not be attracted by the glitter of material nature. And in this way, the conditioned soul may be saved. One should not degrade oneself by attraction to sense objects. The more one is attracted by sense objects, the more one becomes entangled in the material existence. The best way to disentangle oneself is to always engage in the mind in Krishna consciousness. The word he is used for emphasizing this point. That is, that one must do this. It is also said, Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo bandhaya vishaya sango muktaya nirvishayam mana. For man, mind is the cause of bondage and mind is the cause of liberation. Mind absorbed in sense objects is the cause of bondage and mind detached from sense objects is the cause of liberation. Amrit Bindu Upanishad 2. Therefore, the mind which is always engaged in Krishna consciousness is the cause of supreme liberation.
Okay. So, Uddared Atmanatmanam, Atmanam Avasadayet, Atmaiva Hyatmano Bandhur, Atmaiva Ripuratmanaha. One must deliver by themselves with the help of the mind. And the mind can be your friend or enemy. So here Krishna is telling two things. The need for progressing in life. We got this human life for a purpose. And Krishna is reminding us the need for progressing, the need for utilizing that human life and progressing towards achieving that goal or purpose in life. Uddhared atman atmanam. Uddhared, that means you get up, you uplift yourself. We often hear in the material world, in the personality development classes, we hear some word, self-help, right? Self-help. So what is self-help? Self-help means the trainer in the personality development class, they give some kind of training. And then they expect you to apply those principles and take care of yourself. Because the instructor cannot be available all the time in our life, right? He cannot sit with you every day in our life. So, using the education that you receive in that class, you apply those techniques and you uplift yourself. So that is self-help. And there is a famous quotation that God helps those who help themselves. God helps those who help themselves. That's why here God is asking us to make the first step. If God is waiting for us to make that first step towards Him, if we make one step towards Him, God will make 100 steps towards us. But He is just waiting for that one step. Uddhared atman atmanam. One must deliver himself with the help of his mind. That means it is implicitly conveyed that everybody in the material world, they are fallen. It's a general instruction, right? It's a general instruction for everyone. One must deliver himself means implicitly Krishna is saying that we are all fallen. In the material world, everybody is fallen. So we have to rise up. We have to deliver. We have to get up from our dormant state, rise up and progress in life. And Krishna is telling that we have to do that with the help of the mind. With the help of the mind. And the mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. The same mind, it is the friend, bandhu, and the same mind, it is ripu. Ripu means enemy. Bandhu and ripu. Where do we hear this word ripu? Ripple? Or ripple? No, not that one.
Maybe they derived the rip word.
Dharavara karavara sutta te tanujo virinchi stota veda tava suragana britya varga prasada muktir maya jagada vikalam tavaki devaki te mata mitram ఇది మనం డిస్కస్ చేయలేదు కదా క్లాస్లో. మాతా మిత్రం బలరిపు సుతస్ తత్వధన్యం న జానే. కులశేఖర ఆళ్వార్ ముకుందమాల స్తోత్ర. He tells the profile of the Lord. He tells the profile of the Lord saying that, "Oh Swami, you have Sri Mahalakshmi as your wife. You have Brahma as your son. You have all the devatas who are your servants. Somebody is cooking for you in the kitchen. Somebody is cleaning the floor. Somebody is bringing groceries. All the devatas, Indra, Varuna, Vayu, they are your servants. And then Arjuna is your friend. Balaripu. That means the enemy of the strong people. Arjuna is the enemy of even the most strongest people. Balaripu. That means Arjuna. So, for all these reasons, I do not know anyone other than you. Tattvadanyam na jane. Tattvadanyam na jane. Okay? So, Ripu, Bala Ripu means Arjuna. So, similarly, Ripu word here. Atmaiva ripuratmanaha. So here Krishna is using the word Atma to indicate two things. Uddaret Atman Atmanam. Two times he is using the word Atma, but the meaning is same. Meaning is different. One meaning of Atma is the soul. Another meaning of the Atma is the mind. Depending on the context, the same word Atma can be used to refer to soul. It can be used to refer to body. It can be used to refer to mind. And in some rare contexts, this word Atma is also used to refer to Paramatma. Okay? So, but here Krishna is talking about mind, uh, uh, especially the mind and soul connection. That's why he is using the word Atma to refer to the mind. He is using mind, especially mind and he is talking about mind, especially the connection between mind and soul. So he is using the word Atma, same word to indicate to both Atma and mind. Natmanam avasadayet. Avasadayet means do not degrade yourself. Uddaret avasadayet. These are the opposites. Uddaret means uplift yourself. Avasadayet, do not degrade. Okay? Atmaiva hyatmano bandhur. For the mind, Atma, Atmaiva, hyatmano bandhur. The same mind is a friend. Atmaiva ripuratmanaha. For the same mind, the mind can be enemy also. Okay?
You don't degrade yourself to involving others, you don't degrade yourself. So we should not feel like that we should not.
Do not fall down further. Do not degrade means do not destroy yourself further. We are already fallen in this material world. We are already fallen from the spiritual world. So do not degrade further. At least we are on the Bhuloka. Don't degrade means don't go to Patala Loka. Don't go to Patala Loka. So, and that can happen very easily if we don't discipline our mind. So Krishna is indirectly telling that if you don't discipline your mind, you will go to Patala Loka. so, so here in this chapter there are at least 4 important shlokas talking about the mind control. So 5 and 6 and then 34, 35 and couple of shlokas there, especially 34, 35. So in the initial stage, the 5 and 6, shloka number 5 and 6, Krishna talks about this topic, that how the same mind can be your friend and the same mind can be your enemy. A disciplined mind is your friend and undisciplined mind is your enemy. And then after that, Krishna will continue explaining about the pranayama and other processes of Aṣṭāṅga yoga. And then in the end, Arjuna will, after hearing entire Aṣṭāṅga yoga, he will say, because all the details of Aṣṭāṅga yoga, they talk about controlling mind. How to do the pranayama, how to sit in a cross-legged position, Padmasana, and then concentrate on the tip of your nose and meditate, and how to control breathing, how to give up eating food, how to give up drinking water, all those things, and focusing more on mind control. So after hearing all this from Krishna, Arjuna will say, this process looks very difficult to me, O Krishna, especially controlling mind seems like impossible task. Then Krishna will give a solution. Okay, Krishna will give a simple technique using which we can control the mind. So we'll see how the time goes. So today and maybe next week we'll continue this topic. So let's talk about this first. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. So mind is such a powerful thing. It's oftentimes compared to monkey. It can be compared to lion also. It can be compared to lion also. In shloka number 34, Arjuna gives the attributes or the qualities of mind. Okay, the characteristics of the mind, not qualities, characteristics, attributes or characteristics of the mind. Arjuna says, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramadhi balavad drudam tasyaham nigruham manye vayor iva sudrishkrutam. Is that 34 or 34, right? Yeah. So Krishna says, Arjuna gives 4 characteristics of the mind. What are those? Chanchalam, that means restless, wavering, wandering. Mind is always wandering from one place to another place, from one object to another object. It's always distracted. The body is somewhere and the mind is somewhere else. Body is here, mind is somewhere else. Body present, mind absent. We hear this all the time, we experience this all the time, we do this all the time. Body present, mind absent. So that's the first characteristic of the mind. Restlessness, wandering, distraction, deviation, inattentiveness. These are the different synonyms. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna. Mana is my mind. Okay, the mind is chanchala. Pramati. Next characteristic is pramati. Dangerous. It's dangerous. So when the mind is compared to monkey, we are conveying the chanchalatvam of the mind, the wandering nature of the mind, restless nature of the mind. Just like how a monkey jumps from one branch to another branch and keeps on jumping all the time. You see, monkey, they never sit. The only time they sit is while eating. Otherwise, they're always jumping only. We're also somewhat similar. The only time we sit still is while eating. Otherwise, we are always restless, like monkeys. Huh?
We are sitting, but our mind is doing something.
Yeah, while eating also the mind is going somewhere.
The mind is making us also to move restless. Yeah. First the mind is restless, correct? And mind is making our senses. Mind is driving our senses to become restless. So mind is driving the body. It is driving the senses. So along with the mind, the body also moves. So, and when the second characteristic, pramati, dangerous, when that characteristic has to be conveyed, mind is compared to a wild wild animal, lion. So lion, it is dangerous. It's a dangerous animal, wild animal, right? And it is also uncontrolled. It is also uncontrolled because it moves everywhere freely in the forest, going on and killing different animals. So lion is chanchala and also pramati. It is dangerous. Or sometimes the same monkey example is given. So monkey in the normal state itself, it is restless. Now imagine a monkey that is drunkard, that is drunk, a drunkard monkey. Somebody gives some alcohol to monkey. అంటారు కదా తెలుగులో కరెక్ట్ కళ్ళు తాగిన కోతి కరెక్ట్ సో now that is even more dangerous, right? It becomes even more restless. A drunkard monkey becomes even more restless. Now go one step further. A monkey who is already restless, became more restless by drinking some alcohol. Imagine that same monkey is bitten by scorpion. Is bitten by a scorpion. దాన్ని ఏమంటారు తెలుగులో? తేలు గుట్టిన కుందేలు అంటారు. యాక్చువల్గా కుందేలు అంటారు. Rabbit also same thing. It is restless. You will never see rabbit's feet on the ground. All the 4 feet you will never see on the ground. Either 2 feet are on the ground and then it's watching here and there and then jumping. Like hopping actually. Monkey is jumping, this rabbit is nicely, very cute, hopping. So both can be used to give to compare with mind. So that is how dangerous it is. When a monkey is drunk and also bitten by scorpion, it is dangerous. We can also give an example of an elephant. Elephant. An elephant that is angry. Angry elephant. What can do? An angry elephant can destroy the entire forest. There are so many tall trees, huge, big trees. An angry elephant, a mighty angry elephant can destroy the entire forest, all the trees. So all these metaphors are used to compare how dangerous mind can be. How much damage. In fact, the mind can cause more damage than all these things. More damage than a monkey, more damage than a drunkard monkey, more damage than a drunkard monkey which is bitten by a scorpion, more damage than an angry mighty elephant, more damage than a wild lion. Okay? So mind is very dangerous. Pramati. Pramati balavat dridam. Balavat dridam. The next 2 characteristics are balavat and dridam. Balavat means strong. Dridam means obstinate. Obstinate. That means doesn't listen to any instructions. Stubborn. Yeah, obstinate, stubborn. Doesn't listen to any instructions. So even if there is a good piece of advice, the mind doesn't like it. Mind always wants to find enjoyment in distractions, in distractions. Okay, distractions and distractions also, both. So that's why when there is a good piece of advice, mind doesn't listen. Obstinate, just like Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra, both. They have Vidura, in-house counselor. Every day. Just few minutes ago we talked, right? A personality development trainer, he cannot be available with you in your life every day. But Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra, they had the fortune of having this personality development trainer, the counselor, advisor, in their home every day. They have access to him every day. But still, they were not ready to listen to the instructions. In fact, he is a family member, brother of Dhritarashtra, uncle of Duryodhana, but not ready to take the good piece of advice. So that's an example for obstinate, stubborn, not listening to any instructions. There's a definition of murkha given in the Subhashitam. We discussed that in the evening class, right? There are 5 symptoms that are used to describe a murkha. Murkha is a fool. Fool is that person who, despite having the knowledge, he does the wrong thing. Despite having knowledge, he has the knowledge of what is right and what is wrong. But he will always do wrong thing only. That is murkha. On the other hand, idiot. Idiot is a less intelligent person. He doesn't have proper knowledge. He doesn't know what is right and what is wrong. So that person is idiot. So between idiot and fool, who is more dangerous? Fool is more dangerous. Because he knows, despite knowing what is right and what is wrong, he will only do wrong things. That is murkha. So let's look at that Subhashitam. Murkasya panchachihnani. Yeah.
Hello, Prabhuji.
So this is a beautiful Subhashitam that explains what are the 5 characteristics or 5 symptoms by which one can identify a murka. Murkasya panchachihnani garvo durvachanam tada krodascha drudavadascha paravakyeshvanadaraha. What are the 5 symptoms? Murkasya panchachihnani. The first one is garva, pride. Okay, pride. Durvachanam. He always uses bad words, foul language. And third one is krodha, anger. Drudavadascha. He's arguing. Okay? And paravakyesh anadaraha. This is the obstinate. What is that word in that shloka? Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramadi balavad druda. Yeah. Paravakyesh anadaraha. That means he does not respect words of others. He does not respect the instruction, the good instruction of others. Obstinate. That means whatever he thinks, whatever he says, he thinks that is right. Whatever he does, whatever he thinks, that is right. Okay? He doesn't want to listen. So these are the 5 symptoms. So a mind that is uncontrolled will exhibit all these 5 symptoms. An uncontrolled mind, it can show anger, and uncontrolled mind, it can show pride. Uncontrolled mind can make you speak bad words, foul language. Uncontrolled mind can make you argue with others. Uncontrolled mind can make you ignore a good piece of advice. In simple words, uncontrolled mind will make you fool. It will make you fool. Fool number 1. Uncontrolled mind. The reason why we discussed all these symptoms is to say the conclusion that uncontrolled mind will make you fool. So it will make you April Fool. Uncontrolled mind will make you April Fool.
Nitya fool.
Huh?
Nitya fool.
Nitya Fool. Nitya Fool. February Fool, March Fool, April Fool. All fools. So here, let's talk about the first one, right? The chanchalatva, restlessness or distractions. So how do we define distractions? What is distraction? No focus on what you are doing. Okay? What else? Anyone online? How do you define distraction? What is distraction? Okay, no clarity. Not focusing on what you are doing, no clarity. What else?
Irrelevant or noise.
Lack of interest.
Lack of interest. Okay?
Irrelevant or noise.
Irrelevant?
Or noise. If you're
Irrelevant noise.
Irrelevant or noise. If you're focusing on irrelevant things and noise, that's distraction.
Yeah. Okay? Negligence.
Prabhuji not having attraction towards Krishna.
not having attraction towards Krishna. Okay?
In
Now I'm asking
practical,
in general. I'm asking in
Prabhuji,
general. Not necessarily a spiritual definition, but I'm asking in general. In general, when you say somebody is distracted, how do you define that distraction?
can I say something?
Yes.
Sri Krishna Prabhuji. If we are driving and we are talking on phone, then
Mm.
our mind is distracted. Practical life example.
Yeah. So how do you put that in words? How do you define? What's the definition of distraction?
Not doing what is necessary in the present.
Okay. Anyone else?
Not prioritizing in a
Not
way.
prioritizing what is important.
Yeah.
Okay. What else?
Attracted to something else.
Yes. Good. This is the correct answer. Distraction means alternate attraction. Alternate attraction. That is distraction. So just like, Sanvika Mataji gave an example, right? You are driving, but your focus is on the phone. That means you have attraction to phone rather than to your own life. Right? For you, phone is more important than your own life. That is alternate attraction. See how much we are fallen. That's why Krishna says, Uddhared Atman Atmanam. That means we don't have value for our own life. So next time, if somebody is driving and watching phone, checking message or calling or anything, even if your husband, even if your wife, husband, anybody calls, if you have some Bluetooth, you can talk without touching the phone and all, you can talk. But otherwise, messages and all don't. Uh, so that means we are giving more value to the phone object than our life. That is alternate attraction. Okay? So in simple words, distraction means alternate attraction. So now where do these alternate attractions come from? Yeah, our mind. Where does our mind get alternate attractions?
Something. When we see something.
From our
Sense of
impressions, past impressions.
Impressions, past impressions. Yeah, samskaras. So, mind. It is the nature of the mind to go to that object or that place or that experience which the mind likes. See, for the mind, there can be two experiences: good experience and bad experience. Let's say a teenage boy, looking at his friends smoking. Okay, let's say one day he tries smoking cigarette, and it can give either good experience or bad experience. If it gives good experience, then he wants to try more. He will continue. But for some people, it may be bad experience. So for them, they will not try. They will not pick up that bad habit of smoking cigarette. It all starts with one. It all starts with one action, one desire, one thought, uh, one time seeing anything. It all starts with one thing, one time, one incident. But based on what your experience was, good or bad, the mind is attracted to good experiences. Wherever the mind had good experiences, wherever the mind liked good objects, the mind goes there. And most of this experience is stored in our mind, coming from the past life, the impressions from the past life, the experiences, good and bad experiences, they're all stored in the mind from past impressions, samskaras, vasanas, from past life. So that's how the mind automatically, without your consciousness only, the mind is attracted to different things without you knowing actually. Unknowingly, we are attracted to different things. The main reason is we have samskaras from past life. For example, if a child is naturally inclined towards music, where are those samskaras coming? From past life. And for some children, no matter how much you push them, they cannot learn music. The parents have a desire. Parents have a strong desire. The child has to become a good musician, good dancer, everything good. The parents desire that their child wants to become Bill Gates, at the same time Prahlad also. Both. He wants to, the parent wants the child to become rich and at the same time grow spiritually also. Both. But it's not possible, right? Because the child has some samskaras and the child is attracted to those samskaras that the child has already developed from so many lifetimes in the past. Not just one lifetime, but so many lifetimes in the past, the child has developed samskaras. And in the current life, the child will only do those things that the child is attracted to, wherever the child had good experiences in the past.
See how our instructions, like parents will give some instructions to the children, right, not to do this. What that will play a role. It's like they are coming from the past karmas, as you said, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Now we are telling to them something not to do. So how that will help or that will play a role, anything?
Yes, definitely. So that is called intelligence. Okay. So whatever the mind is doing now, this is just like playing a devil's game. And the parents giving instruction, or the teachers giving instruction, gurus giving instruction, grandparents giving instruction, that is intelligence. So that intelligence, we'll talk about intelligence also in a little while. That intelligence can be used to counteract the nature of the mind. By nature, the mind has sankalpa, vikalpa. Mind is always oscillating between sankalpa and vikalpa. I like this, I don't like this. I like this, I don't like this. Based on the past impressions. And mind always acts based on that. So this nature has to be counteracted. It can be counteracted with intelligence. Okay. Somebody was saying something online. Okay. Now we defined distraction. Distraction means alternate attraction, and those attractions are coming from past life impressions, right? If you take some examples from Puranas, Mahabharata, Ramayana, are many examples in Bhagavatam also. We see examples for these two scenarios that Krishna is telling in Shloka number 5. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. For the person who has a disciplined mind, the mind is the friend. For a person who has not controlled the mind, the same mind is their enemy. From Mahabharata, we can see the example of Duryodhana and Yudhishthira. Duryodhana, he had everything. He had lot of wealth, name and fame. He had all the comforts, but still he degraded. He degraded. Why? Because of uncontrolled mind. And on the other side, Yudhishthira, he did not have anything. Whatever he had, they all lost. Kauravas grabbed everything. And despite that, despite not having anything, they were always respected by everyone. And that was one of the reasons why Duryodhana had greater envy for Pandavas. Okay? Even after Duryodhana sent Pandavas to exile, people were still respecting Pandavas. So seeing this, Duryodhana developed more enviousness towards Pandavas. And Yudhishthira had a controlled mind. Because of that, despite not having anything, he was always respected and he was always in the better position. And in Ramayana also we can see how Kaikeyi, because of her uncontrolled nature of the mind, her mind was polluted by Mantara, and we all know what happened after that. So these are the examples from our scriptures that show how a controlled mind can be the friend even when you don't have anything, and how an uncontrolled mind can be your enemy even when you have everything in your life. Hmm?
Duryodhana is called Murkha, even though no yes or no.
Yeah, Duryodhana is a Murkha only. Yeah. He exhibited all 5 symptoms. He was angry, and especially in that assembly where he insulted Vidura. When Vidura was giving an advice to Dhritarashtra that Bhima on Pandava's side, he is waiting for just one opportunity to take revenge on Duryodhana. Bhima is like a cobra. Bhima is like a cobra, hissing and you know, what do you call? Vishan kakada ane antaru English lo. Always spitting poison. Okay, he's like a cobra, always spitting venomous poison and waiting for an opportunity to take revenge on Duryodhana. And to me, it looks like the destruction of your son Duryodhana and the entire Kaurava Sena is very soon. Is going to happen very soon. So before that happens, before Bhima gets even more furious to take revenge on your son Duryodhana, return the kingdom back to the Pandavas. This is what Vidura tells to Dhritarashtra in the assembly where Duryodhana and others are also there. So hearing this, Duryodhana gets very angry and he uses bad words. He insults Vidura despite his uncle, right? His uncle, elderly person, and he is giving a good piece of advice, but he insults Vidura in front of everybody, and then Vidura quietly he goes out of the kingdom. He goes on a pilgrimage. He takes that as an opportunity, thinking that now I can focus on Krishna Bhakti. Until now, I have been in this assembly here, not able to go on pilgrimage. I am not able to do Bhakti full time, but this is an opportunity for me to do Bhakti full time. So he goes on a pilgrimage and spends full time on Bhakti. So in the same assembly, we can see 2 examples, Vidura and Duryodhana, controlled mind and uncontrolled mind. Even after being insulted in front of everybody, Vidura did not say anything. He simply quietly walked away and he went on a pilgrimage. In fact, he took that as a blessing. He took that as a good opportunity and blessing so that he can focus more on Krishna Smarana. So now let's look at the so here, one beautiful shloka from this purport. In the purport, Prabhupada quotes a beautiful shloka, Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo. Bandhaya vishaya sango muktyai nirvishayam manaha. For man, mind is the cause of bondage and mind is the cause of liberation. Mind absorbed in sense objects is the cause of bondage, and detached from the sense objects is the cause of liberation. So the same mind can be the cause of bondage or liberation. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. It can be karana for bandha or moksha. Therefore, the mind which is always engaged in Krishna consciousness is the cause of supreme liberation. Okay, so this is a solution. We'll talk about solution later. But before that, so after Chanchala, what's the next characteristic? Pramada. Pramada. Like turbulent. The nature of the mind is turbulent, dangerous, turbulent. It can cause turbulence and danger to oneself, and also it can cause danger to others. It can destroy others. It can destroy oneself. It can destroy others also. So now in the Kathopanishad, this example is given. The chariot of life example is given. Okay. The chariot of life example, it gives a connection between different components of human life. Mind, intelligence, senses, body, soul, all these 5 things. Okay? Mind, intelligence, senses, body and soul, the 5 things. The reason why mind is attracted to impressions from the past life is based on the environment that you provide, based on the association that you have, based on the environment that you provide to the mind is attracted. See, let's say in the past life, somebody was a very good musician. In the current life, unless a person is exposed to some environment where there is a musical experience, where some musical instruments are played, this person will never be attracted. Similarly, a bad scenario also. If a person was a chain smoker in the past life, now in the current life, if he is exposed to wrong association, bad association of smokers, then naturally he will pick it up. The mind will naturally pick it up. So, the important point that we are talking here is association, the environment. Because there's a famous saying in English, the mind is where the body is. The mind is where the body is. I mean, we hear other saying also, mind is present, body absent. It happens, mind goes there and comes back, right? But in general, mind is where the body is. Wherever the body is, that is where the mind is. That means in whichever environment you are physically present, your mind is exposed to that environment. Your mind is attracted to certain things based on the environment. So that's why this association, Sangha, is given utmost importance in. So if you look at this shloka here, right? Manaiva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo. Okay. Manaiva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo. Bandhaya vishaya sango. That means attachment to vishaya. Vishaya means sense objects. Vishaya means sense objects. Bandhaya vishaya sango muktyai nirvishayam manaha. Now in this context, I'll ask a question here, okay? If you compare the lifestyle, the current lifestyle versus the lifestyle in the olden times, like our parents, grandparents' time, what's the main difference? Okay? What others?
We are like day by day we are getting surrounded by more sense objects. Like
Okay?
mobile phones and all these televisions were not there.
Okay?
Surrounded by machines.
Surrounded by machines. Okay? So what's the reason for this? Anybody wants to say anything else online? Difference in lifestyle. Current lifestyle versus the olden lifestyle.
The way
More
we
comforts now.
The way we used to connect with people,
What, Swati?
family, the way we used to connect with everybody, with
The way
family,
we,
friends, connected with people.
the way we connect with people. Okay.
Yes.
Adopting modern culture.
Adapting modern culture very quickly, very easily. Huh? Okay.
Forgetting the
Impatient. Becoming patient by having impatience. We are becoming patient by becoming impatient. Okay?
Our satisfaction levels are like going down. Like
Going down.
people earlier were more satisfied with what they had, but now we are just waiting. Yeah.
Yeah. So we are like Duryodhana. Duryodhana had everything, but not satisfied. He was always hankering for more. When Pandavas asked, just give us 5 villages. We are not asking anything else. Don't give us the entire kingdom. After they came back from exile, Pandava said, we are Kshatriyas. We cannot go on the streets and beg. Huh? Our mind does not accept. So just give us 5 villages and we'll keep quiet. Duryodhana did not want to give that. He said, forget about 5 villages. I will not even give such a small piece of land that can hold one needle. That can hold one needle. So, so what is the reason? You said we are surrounded by so many sense objects. Hmm. Yeah.
No
Lack
joint
of
families.
satisfaction. What is that?
No joint families. Always now is micro families. Everything. Yeah.
Yes. That's what Venkatesh also said. Yeah. So due to lack of satisfaction, we are surrounded by so many sense objects.
We're trying to build more and more comfort.
Greedy. Yeah. 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 uh, but what is the reason? Why we have so many sense objects now? Why we are surrounded with so many sense objects? Lack of satisfaction is one. Peer pressure, okay.
Development also, the brain, the mind, humans developed a lot of the technologies that
Become lazy.
And maybe drift from spirituality also is causing that problem. Like maybe olden days people were more spiritual.
Yeah.
People had reverence for nature and other things. But now nobody cares. Like,
Yeah.
the reverence is gone. We are just like not treating nature as well, cutting trees, building the cities.
Yeah.
They are not in present.
So the main reason is having more money. Having more money at our disposal. When you have more money, obviously you will spend more, you will accumulate more sense objects, and you try to find satisfaction or happiness in those sense objects. Vishaya Sangha, that's what the shloka in the purport, Prabhupada writes, right? Bandhaya Vishaya Sango. That means the sense objects are binding you. See, look, what an irony. We have the power to control the sense objects, but the sense objects are controlling us like slaves. We are the master, they are the servants, but they are acting as masters and we are the servants. So this is what is bandhaya vishaya sango. Too much of attachment to the sense objects makes one bound. Makes one bound. Muktai nirvishayam manaha. The liberation is nirvishayam. Having detachment to the sense objects is mukti. So, in order to have nirvishayam, in order to have detachment from sense objects, what do we need to do? Hmm? We need to reduce the number of sense objects first. We need to reduce, minimize. We need to minimize the number of sense objects first.
Simple living. Simple living. We need to resort to
Simple living.
For example, first no phone, sense object.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe just keep at
Phone
home.
is okay, like I-14, I-15, I-17, more features.
Yeah. So the first thing is to reduce the number of sense objects, to reduce our association with sense objects. Because I see some monks in ISKCON, some brahmacharis in ISKCON. For example, Gauranga Prabhu, he came here, right? He comes every year. So he still uses that old Nokia phone, not smartphone. He still uses the old Nokia phone button. And with that only he sends messages, he receives calls, everything. Because if you have a smartphone, you use the phone more for other things than for talking. The purpose of phone is just to talk.
But if even if phone is higher model is there also, it depends on our. If you are using that phone in right way, for example, if to study something like knowledge or something,
Yeah.
it is okay. But if we are the usage is the different. I mean.
Yeah. So if you are wasting time with the phone, then that is not good. That is Vishaya Sangha, as it is mentioned in the purport here. Let me share the screen for online people.
Instagram reels.
Vishaya Sangha, Bandhaya Vishaya Sangha. घर घर की कहानी हो रही, घर घर की कहानी हो रही. बंधाय विषया संगो मुक्तै निर्विषयं मनः. So sense objects. That means there is a strong connection between mind and senses. Just like how there is a strong connection between mind and soul, there is a strong connection between mind and senses. So to control the mind, we have to control certain other things. Just controlling the mind by practicing some yoga, breathing, meditation, it is not possible. So we have to control certain other things to control mind. Just like how we said, right? The mind is wherever the body is. So if you control the body and not expose the body to the environment where the mind can degrade, then the mind is safe. The mind is safe.
But that we can't that much of strong, but we have to educate.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So now this is where the intelligence comes into picture. Okay. When we say body, it includes senses. Okay. So in order to control mind, we need two other things. We need good intelligence, and we need control of senses. Sense control. So together, by controlling senses and by cultivating good intelligence, we can control the mind. So this is all explained in the Chariot of Life, the Bhagavad Gita front page picture, right? So there you see Arjuna as the soul, Atma, and the chariot is the body, which has the senses. The 5 horses represent the senses, and Krishna represents intelligence, who is holding the ropes that are controlling the horses, and the ropes represent mind. The rope represent mind. So in the absence of good intelligence, the mind will control the senses. In the absence of good intelligence, the mind will control the senses. That means the mind will always navigate the senses in a wrong way when there is no good intelligence. If Krishna is not sitting on the chariot, the ropes, which will be in the hand of Arjuna, they'll be going in wrong direction. Which direction? Piche mode. Go home, go back home. The horses will go back home. But because they are in the right hands of Krishna, they are only marching forward. The horses are marching forward. The senses are progressing, marching forward to fight, to do the action. So controlling the senses and controlling the and cultivating good intelligence. These two are very important. So while we are cultivating good intelligence, we have to practice controlling the senses also.
Why are you supporting intelligence? If you have intelligence, definitely will control. Why those are telling two different?
So how is intelligence cultivated? By reading scriptures, by reading Bhagavatam, Ramayana, Bhagavad Gita. And how is sense control achieved? Sense control is achieved by doing austerities, by doing some tapas, some austerities.
Right association.
Right association. Yeah. So controlling senses means you have to make an explicit effort.
Implementing that intelligence.
Implementing that implementation, that intelligence.
Intelligence alone is not enough.
Yeah.
You have to implement.
Yes.
That is controlling.
Yes. So intelligence is the knowledge. You have to put that knowledge into practice. That is controlling the senses. So intelligence means, like, let's say somebody is diabetic patient. Intelligence says you should not eat sugar. Even if you do Sahasra Namavali, don't eat sugar, don't eat sugar, don't eat sugar, Om Sugare Namaha. Nothing will happen, right? You have to put that into practice. You have to put that into practice. Even if you do Pratakale Smarana, don't eat sugar, Pratakala Smarana, no use. You have to put that into practice. So there is a nice story of a king. His son was going on a wrong path. So he takes the son to a ashrama and tells the guru that my son is deviating. I need your help here. And the guru says, yes, I'll be happy to help. Leave your son here. We'll take good care of him. And the king says, as you know, my son is a princess. Is a prince. Because I have a princess, I automatically say princess. My son is a prince, so give him some royal comforts. Okay, give him nice bed, nice food, all these things. Don't wake him up like at 4 o'clock in the morning. He can wake up at 4 o'clock in the evening. That's okay, but make him a good person. And then after 6 months, the king comes to the ashrama to see how the son is doing. Then the king is surprised to see that there is no transformation in the son. And he asked the guru, what happened? I entrusted my son to you to make him a good person. And then the guru says, you only told him, you transform him, but at the same time you give him royal comforts. So these two things, they don't go hand in hand. So then the king understood everything. Then the king this time said, okay, now I am leaving everything up to you. You do whatever is best for my son. And then from that day onwards, the guru enforces strict rules. Like what time he has to wake up, what time he has to, and how much he has to eat, what type of food he has to eat. His whole schedule is controlled by the guru. And then after 6 months, when the king comes back again to see the son, there's a big transformation. So there is a knowledge, intelligence is being cultivated, and also there is a practice. Okay, the senses are controlled. When he's eating less food, when he's eating sattvic food, automatically the senses are controlled. So we have to do these two. Intelligence, cultivate good intelligence, and then control the senses explicitly. The mind is like a gateway to our consciousness. So let's say we are in a dark room. Let's say in this room only, all the lights are turned off. The room is completely dark. Now you open one door. Let's say this door. only when you open one door, you will come to know that there are other doors that can take you out of this room. Okay? But by the time you open this door and you are walking away from this room and you realize that this is the wrong path. This is the wrong path. After going after walking few steps, you realize that this looks like a wrong path. But by the time it's already late. So you need to know the right exit. You need to know right gateway, right exit to liberate yourself. And so if you ask the right person, if you ask the owner of this house, owner of this property, which is the exit that can take us outside very quickly, safely and easily, then you will open only that door. That means you will open your mind only to that side where it is safe, and where you will be liberated. Otherwise, you may seem to open a door which may seem like a gateway to the mind, but that is causing more bondage. From one dark room, it is taking you to another dark room. So this is where the intelligence comes in play, the knowledge, getting the right piece of information, figuring out what is the right thing to do and what not to do.
Prabhuji.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
I just had an observation, and I think I came across this somewhere, that Hanumanji is also depicted as a monkey mind because he is the monkey. So he depicts mind, but then he realizes his full potential when he comes in touch with Prabhu Ram, his own true potential, and when now his entire life's mission becomes things to do for Prabhu Ram. That's when he finds his true self and true potential. So that's one interpretation of Hanumanji. So that's again only when when your intelligence is aligned with the higher good and with Prabhu Ram. That's when your monkey mind comes under control.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so when it comes to disciplining the mind, the example of taming the lion. You know the word taming? Taming means petting, or making a wild animal like lion into a sadhu jivi, taming. Okay? So reducing the wild nature of the lion basically. So how do, let's say in circus, they want to bring a lion. Let's look at the process they follow, So first, they will capture the lion and put it in a cage. And how will they capture the lion or an elephant, for example?
Sedating them. Sedating them.
Trapping them, yes. Using some trap. Okay? Using some trap. For example, elephant. If it is a male elephants are highly attracted to female elephants. So sometimes they'll bring a female elephant and then attract a male elephant, and then just before the female elephant they'll put a pit, and cover with some leaves, and the male elephant comes and then falls into the pit. So, or sometimes they even use a picture of female elephant and some noises of female elephant, and somehow they'll capture the elephant. So, and similarly some technique for the lion also. So that means whatever sense objects they are attracted to, that's what we have been talking, right? Vishaya Sangha, right? Whatever sense objects they are attached to, they will use the same thing as a trap to capture that. That is the first thing. And similarly, we have to, the way we have to put our mind into the cage He is using some kind of sense object that the mind is attracted to and get into the cage. So once they bring the lion into the cage, what do?
They starve.
Very good. They will starve the lion for 3 days. For 3 days, complete starving, and nobody goes near the cage. Because a lion that is put into cage, it is so furious, so angry that it can even break the cage and come out. It cannot actually, but it may seem, looking at the roar and the movements of the lion, the eyes, the face, everything, it may look as if the lion has the power to break through the iron, shackles of the cage and come out. In reality, it cannot, but it looks like that. That's why nobody dares to go near the lion cage for 3 days at least. And no food is served. No food is served, nobody goes near the cage. It's completely left like that. Now let's apply this analogy to our mind. Okay? So let's say our mind is put into some cage. So what is the cage in our case? In the case of mind, what is the cage? Some discipline, right? Some schedule. Wake up in the morning at 4 o'clock, and take shower and then chant, read Bhagavatam, go to the temple or whatever. Okay, you come up with some schedule, and also some restrictions on diet. Eat only 2 times a day instead of 3 times, or if you are already eating 2 times, eat only 1 time a day, something like that. So like that, you give a whole schedule to the mind. That is like a cage. Okay. So when you give this schedule to the mind, obviously the mind will not like it. It will behave just like the lion in the cage. Very angry and very resistant, not liking what the mind is doing. All those things will happen. So when the mind is reacting like that, okay, you are giving a tough schedule, obviously mind is not liking. At that time, if you change the schedule, and if you change the diet, if you change the time, the way you are supposed to wake up, instead of 4 you wake up at 7 or 8, then what happens? You're going back to square one. Okay, you can never transform yourself. So just like how the lion in the cage is left ignored for 3 days, no food and completely ignored. Similarly, the mind should also be ignored. When the mind is resisting, when the mind is showing some resistance to the new schedule, we just have to ignore. Whatever inconveniences the mind is going through, we just have to ignore. And after 3 or 5 days or 7 days or 21 days, initially it starts with 1 day, then the 1 day will easily go into 2 days. See, if you have crossed 1 day, you can definitely stay like that for 2 days. If you have tolerated for 2 days, you can definitely do that for 4 days. So like that, up to 21 days. And whatever you do for 21 days, you can easily do it. So this is how we have to tame the lion. And then after 3 days in the circus, a person brings some food and gives it to the lion. And that time also, this person, he does not just throw the food into the cage. He just keeps it in front of the cage so that the lion can see. And then what he will do? With one hand, he will show the food. With another hand, he will tap on the other side of the cage. That means the lion has to go there, to the other end. From one end, the lion has to go to the other end. Now he will swap the food on the left hand and the stick on the right hand. He will tap on the other edge of the cage. That means the lion understands. If I want this food, I need to follow the instructions of this person. So wherever there is a stick and whichever side this man is tapping on the cage, to that side the lion will move. So we have to do like that to our mind also. Okay, so we have to first 3 days, or in the initial 1 or 2 days, we just have to ignore all the excuses, ignore the resistance that the mind is showing. If you have crossed that 1 or 2 days in the initial stage, then later on it becomes easy. So later on you can throw some attractions. Okay, like if you stay austere like this, at the end of 21 days, I will give you a nice feast. I'll give you a nice feast. So some attractions we can inspire to ourselves. So, and then once a lion is tamed and trained like that, then this person can even go and hug the lion. He can even go and hug the lion. Lion will not do anything, because the lion has been trained like that. Such a wild animal, it has been tamed. Now it will behave like a goat. The lion will behave like a goat. So similarly, our mind, such a powerful mind, which is like a wild animal like lion, it can be tamed with a similar technique. Put it in a cage. That cage is nothing but some discipline, some environment, good association, all these things. That's why new people, your friends, if you ask them to come to the class, if you ask them to come to the temple, they will not, right? They will not like it. Rather, if you ask them to come to a party, they will like. They will come. So somehow we have to put them in the cage. For that, what do? We give them nice prasadam, banana leaves. See, look at the attendance last week and this week. Banana leaves are gone. People are gone. So this is how we do. This is how Prabhupada started the movement. Gulab Jamuns, actually. Prabhupada used to call Gulab Jamuns as ISKCON bullets. ISKCON bullets. He used to make Gulab Jamuns by himself when he was in New York in the initial days, the first 1 year or 2 years. He used to give a class. Then he was observing less people are coming. So let me attract them by doing something. Then he was making Gulab Jamuns. He used to keep Gulab Jamuns in a jar. And after the class, the jar was kept in front of the people. While the class was going on, the Gulab Jamun jar was kept in front of the people. They all know that, okay, if I sit in the class, at the end of the class, I'll get this nice Gulab Jamun. After the class, Prabhupada used to give one Gulab Jamun to everybody. So like that, we have to put them into the cage. And once they are put in the cage, then we can do all these things. Gulab Jamuns, banana leaves. Slowly we can train them. That means we have to give them some experience. Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha rasavarjam rasopyasya param drushtva nivartate. That means once a person has tasted the higher experience, then they will not want to go to the lower experience. They will not want to have the cheaper experience. Okay? Vishaya vinivartante, and that is another technique to develop detachment from the sense objects. That is another technique to control the senses and mind. That is by giving higher experience. By giving higher experience to the mind. So let's see if we have time to discuss the next shloka. It's a small purport. Yeah, we can do this. Shloka number 6, chapter 6, shloka number 6. Oh. Bandhuratmatmanastasya enatmaivatmana jitaha.
Bandhuratmatmanastasya enatmaivatmanajitah.
Anatmanastu shatrutve varte taivatmashatruvat.
Anatmanastu satrutve vritetmatmasatruvat.
Bandhu, friend, Atma, the mind, Atmanaha, of the living entity, Tasya, of him, Ena, by whom, Atma, the mind, Eva, certainly, Atmana, by the living entity, Jita, conquered, Anatmanaha, of one who has failed to control the mind, too, but Shatrutve, because of enmity, Varteta, remains, Atma Eva, the very mind, Shatruvat, as a enemy. Chautara?
The purpose of practicing eightfold yoga is to control the mind in order to make it a
No,
friend.
the translation.
Oh, sorry. For him who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. But for one who has failed to do so, his mind will remain the greatest enemy. Purpose. The purpose of practicing eightfold yoga is to control the mind in order to make it a friend in discharging the human mission. Unless the mind is controlled, the practice of yoga is simply a waste of time. One who cannot control his mind lives always with the greatest enemy, and thus his life and his mission are spoiled. The constitutional position of the living entity is to carry out the order of the superior. As long as one's mind remains an unconquered enemy, one has to serve the dictations of lust, anger, avarice, illusion, etc. But when the mind is conquered, one voluntarily agrees to abide by the dictation of the personality of Godhead, who is situated within the heart of everyone as Paramatma. Real yoga practice entails meeting the Paramatma within the heart and then following his dictation. For one who takes to Krishna consciousness directly, perfect surrender to the dictation of the Lord follows automatically.
So here, for one who has conquered the mind is the best friend. But for one who has failed to do so, mind will remain the greatest enemy. In the purport, Prabhupada is emphasizing on one important point, that one must take dictation from Krishna. One must take instruction from Krishna. Otherwise, the mind will use wrong intelligence based on the impressions from the past, and then the mind will drive the senses in a wrong way. So, in the absence of the good intelligence, if we don't take instruction or dictation from Krishna, whatever we are doing, it's based on impression from the past life, samskaras, which is always wrong. So, but when the mind is conquered, one voluntarily agrees to abide by the dictation of the personality of Godhead, who is situated within the heart, everyone as Paramatma. Now, how do we know if I am getting an instruction from Paramatma from within, or it's my own mind that is speaking? So many times people say that, oh, my intuition is saying this, and they mistake that intuition with Paramatma. They think that Paramatma is telling. But these two are different. Whatever our mind is saying is not same as Paramatma saying. So how to identify this? How to identify or how to differentiate between what our mind is speaking and what Paramatma is telling us? That is, in the initial stage, when you are practicing bhakti, for many years, okay, for at least 10 years, okay, on an average, for at least 10 years, whatever we are hearing from within, it's our mind only, for at least 10 years. Because the research shows that if you want to become good at anything, whether it is music, cooking, or any new skill, drawing, or any new skill, if you want to become good at anything, it takes 10,000 hours of practice. 10,000 hours of practice, which is achieved in a span of 10 years. 10 years. It takes 10 years to do 10,000 hours of practice. Now let's do a quick math. 10,000 hours in 10 years. That means every day how many hours we have to do? Huh? How much? 3 hours? 3 hours every day? Okay. 3 hours every day. Huh? Which is possible, right? Doing bhakti 3 hours a day is possible. So if you do that, that means this is the bare minimum. If you do 3 hours sadhana every day, that means by 10 years, you will start hearing Paramatma's voice. Or whatever voice you are hearing, 2.5? 2.7. Okay, let's say 3, average 3. So that means after 10 years, whatever you are hearing from within is actually Paramatma. Otherwise, it is your mind only. So this is the simple rule, simple practical technique. 3 hours a day minimum sadhana. That means 1 hour hearing, 1 to 2 hours chanting. And if you want to do more after that, it's up to you. But minimum 3 hours sadhana every day for one to become good at bhakti. Okay, to good at bhakti. So when Prabhupada says here, but when the mind is conquered, how is the mind conquered? By 3 hours sadhana every day. By daily sadhana of 3 hours every day, the mind is conquered. One voluntarily agrees to abide by the dictation of the personality of Godhead, who is situated within the heart of everyone as Paramatma. So, for one who takes to Krishna consciousness directly, perfect surrender to the dictation of the Lord follows automatically. Okay, and as we are progressing, now what we talked about is the sadhana stage, right? 10 years you do sadhana like this, and then you will start hearing instructions of Krishna from within, or you will hear instructions of Guru and follow those. And after that, as you are advancing, you will automatically take dictation from Krishna, and you will only do what Krishna likes. Whatever Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, you will do that only. That time there is no difference between what your mind says and what Krishna says. Your mind, intelligence, body, soul, everything is in line with what Krishna is saying. Okay. So it's 2 o'clock. I think we can pause here. Any questions, comments, reflections?
One question, why the Krishna gave mind like this?
Why Krishna gave mind like this? Very good. Good question. Why Krishna gave a mind like this? Krishna gave mind like this to give freedom to us. To give freedom to us. Freedom for thinking, freedom for feeling, freedom for willingness to do. It's all driven by the mind. What you think is based on what is stored in the mind. Based on the samskaras from past life, the thought process in the current life is based on that. And whatever you are feeling, the emotions, the feelings, they are also based on whatever is stored in the mind. And your willingness to do something, that is also decided by the mind. So, Basically, the freedom to do all these things, freedom to think, freedom to feel, freedom to do, action. Krishna has to give the freedom, right? That's why he has given the mind like this. That's why the mind is free. With the freedom, the mind, wanders freely everywhere. So now we know that is wrong, right? So that's why we have to cultivate this knowledge and then train the mind. So instead of asking a question, why Krishna has given the mind like this, right? Ask a question, how can I engage my mind in Krishna? See, Krishna knows that whatever mind he has given is very difficult to control. Arjuna himself said that, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramadam balavadrudam tasyaham nigruham manye vayor iva sudushkaram. I can control the raging wind but not the mind. Arjuna said this. And Krishna said, yes, I agree. Asamshayam mahabaho mano durnigraham. Enta shlokam selection? 35.
Asamsayam mahabaho mano durnigraham
chalam. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha gृह्यते. Asamshayam mahabaho mano durnigraham chalam. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha gृह्यते. Krishna is saying this, that yes, I agree. Controlling mind is very difficult. We'll discuss more about this in next class. But Krishna says, yes, it is very difficult. He is the one who has given this mind, right? And that's what you're asking. Why Krishna gave mind like this? Krishna knows that it is difficult to control the mind. That's why in the end, in Bhagavad Gita, in the end, what does Krishna say?
Only concentrate on you.
Leave one before that. An instruction before that. Leave everything, that is sarvadharman parityaja. There is some other instruction before that.
Always think about me.
Manmana bhava madbhakto. In simple words, Krishna is telling that give your mind to me. Give your mind to me. You are saying controlling mind is difficult. So give your mind to me. I'll take care of it. So that means Krishna knows that we'll try taming our mind like how we train the lion, and we fail to do so. And we will only be successful when we give our mind to Krishna. Until that time, Krishna will give freedom to our mind. Because wherever there is love, there is freedom. There is a freedom of choice. That's why he is giving so many choices to the mind. Sankalpa, vikalpa. I like this, I don't like this. That's why the mind goes everywhere and then finally comes back. Comes back to the lotus feet of Krishna. Yeah. Anything else?
Past impressions we are talking about, right? In the previous janmas.
Yeah.
So those janmas are only the Mano janma, or actually any animal or any other janma in the future?
It's mostly human life. Yeah. Because in the animal life, it's only like burning your karma. Okay, you're burning your karma from lowest species, amoeba to, insects, reptiles, animals, and then eventually cow and then human being. So you're actually burning your karma. There's no new karma that is accumulated in the animal life. So these impressions are mostly from human life. Yeah. If you look at animal life, right, they don't do as many mistakes as human beings do. They sleep at the right time. They wake up at the right time. They eat the right amount of food. Their habits are regulated. Huh? They have the mind. They have the mind. They have the mind. They have the intelligence. They have intelligence. It is limited. Their intelligence is limited to the four things: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. For example, cat. Cat has the intelligence to know when to enter a house to drink milk. The cat can sense when the owner is not there, when the owner is leaving the house. The cat can see and use the intelligence that okay, now it is safe for me to enter the house and drink milk. So cat's intelligence is limited to that only: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, the four things. But human beings have this higher prerogative to inquire about absolute truth and progress further. Yeah. Okay. Anything online?
I have a question, Prabhuji.
Yes.
How can an animal promote to higher birds like human life? How can it take? Because it is not acquiring any karma, right? Good karma or bad karma
Yeah.
when it is in an animal life.
Yeah.
So,
So,
what is the measure?
in a normal scenario, in the animal life, the jiva has to just go through the evolution from lowest species of life to the highest species of life, which is the cow, and then next life is human being. This is normal scenario. 99% of the time, this is how it happens.
Okay.
But there can be exceptions when, for example, a dog, unknowingly the dog enters a temple premises. The dog unknowingly spends a lot of time in the temple premises, or eats the prasadam there, or hears Harinam Sankirtana. Then there is a possibility for a better life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's why, if you see devotees, right, the prasadam, they want to feed to the ants, they want to feed to the birds, dogs, wherever there is a possibility, they want to feed prasadam to all jivas, not just human beings, but all jivas they want to feed prasadam.
Even here also, right?
Hmm?
When you chant the here, they also purified.
Yes. Yeah. When we are doing Sankirtana, right? So not only that, just human. See, generally whenever there is any kirtan going on, there are only few people in the class. Whether class or kirtan, only few people. But there are many jivas that we cannot see, right? There are so many ants, so many insects, so many mosquitoes. Everybody is getting benefited. Now the question is, are all those jivas who are exposed to the Sankirtan and Prasadam will get a better life? That we don't know. That's between Krishna and the jivas.
10,000 hours.
That we don't know.
10,000 hours they need to spend.
10,000 hours is only for human beings, not for animals. Not for animals. So that's a very complex thing. We don't know exactly how it works, but it can help definitely. The
They
Sankirtana,
also
the
might be
Prashad.
distracted, Prabhuji, as you said.
Huh?
Though they are in the temple premises, they also might get distracted, right? Not focusing on like the
They don't
kirtan,
get
whatever.
as much distracted as human beings.
Yeah, that is true.
So the danger is less, the damage is less. The damage is less. See the dog. Look at the look at the discipline of the dog. Whether the dog is sleeping, dog is. Let's say dog has eaten more on one day, but still, the moment there is a danger, the moment the dog senses danger, it becomes alert and it tries. It makes every effort to protect the owner. So it's very attentive. It's very attentive. The dog is very attentive. Yeah. Okay. So if nothing else, we will conclude here. Grantara Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila
Jai.
Prabhupada ki
Yeah.
jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for joining.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.